What's going on, everyone? My name is Joseph Reynolds, and today joining me is your now FCC champion and a very accomplished amateur fighter in Teddy Stringer. Competes at the World Championships in Serbia in February, head of the World Championships. How are you feeling for it, buddy?
Good, man. Really good. I think there's a lot of good momentum coming in. Obviously, my last fight on FCC, the England team's looking strong. We had a good outing at the Euros, so I'm ready to go and get some gold medals brought back in the Worlds.
Yeah, and as well, you've spent a lot of time with England now. I believe you had 7 fights with them, and then you've spent a lot of time with them the last year as well. But in terms of seeing the progression of Team England and the bond sort of grow closer, we saw a lot of that at the Euros in terms of how the team gets along. But what's that been like progressing along with Team England and sort of seeing the growth of it?
Good, man. Like you said, the team spirit, especially from the Euros, we had a good team. Like the coaches, everyone that went out there and competed, there was just a good atmosphere all around. And that's something that I've done a couple IMAFs, and it's something that I really noticed grow. And it's what's kind of different about the England squad at the moment is it lacked that team before, but now everyone's just bringing good vibes and having fun the whole time. And that reflects on your performances. You know, when everyone's happy and having fun, you do good work.
Yeah, and I was speaking with George Staines a little earlier today, and he mentioned a time when he was cutting weight, you helped him with the pads and stuff when you could have gone out and sort of helping one another out and doing those things for each other. Do you feel as though it does really make a big difference when it comes to performing, knowing that you haven't just got your friends, your family behind you, but you've got the teammates that are there and everyone around you at that moment wants the best for you that they can get out of those sort of events? Hello?
Sorry, man, that cut out on that question.
No problem. I'll say again, for obviously, I spoke to George Staines a little earlier today in terms of obviously you helped him with cutting the last bit of weight and holding the pads for him instead of sort of spending an out. But in terms of doing those sort of things and knowing that you yourself, your teammates, they all want the best for each other in those instances, do you feel as though they are a real great sort of benefit when it does come to going out there and performing under the England banner?
Yeah, like you said with George, then that's not even a question. Like helping him cut weight when he needed to for the final, because yeah, that's what it's about. Like obviously, it's nice on the last night to go out and celebrate a little bit and whatever. But for me, I'm there to support everyone on the English team, and ultimately, my goal is to go out there and get a gold medal, because I went out in the Euros. I was just trying to focus on helping everyone else who was still in there and had a fight to help get them through it. So, yeah, it's a big part of it all, just having a team working like that, and it just brings everyone on.
Yeah, and I believe now you've had around, 23 amateur bouts almost. In terms of going into this IMAS, do you feel as though this is, I believe you might have mentioned it before, but do you feel as though this is going to be your last outing as an amateur? And then does that make getting gold even more of a goal now in terms of going into the IMAS?
Yeah, this is it. I'm done now after this at amateur. I've been around the block one too many times at amateur, and it's time to just go and start getting paid for this. So I'm going to go out there. I'm going to finish my amateur career the best way possible. I'm going to go to the World Championships. I'm going to bring back a gold medal and then just set off into the sunset of the pros. But yeah, that's my goal. That's literally all I'm thinking about, is going out there, finishing my amateur career in the correct way, and then starting the professional career.
And as well, you look back on 2022, obviously, it's been a mixed bag, obviously. The Four Nations, you had the really close fight with Conor Loire that could have gone either way, and then Euros as well. But you've also had the title wins and defences. But sort of looking back on the year, how do you feel that went? And obviously closing out the year on the momentum, getting a good win against Jack Dunney, obviously, who's fast rising. But how do you feel the momentum is going into this next year?
Yeah, so this year, went 6-3, and I'm happy with the year. And I think the biggest thing for me is in the year, the growth that I've shown. I was not ready to turn professional at the start of last year. I was a very experienced amateur, and a lot of people were saying, yeah, and maybe now's the time to turn professional. But staying amateur for this extra year has it's taught me so many things about myself. It's developed my game. Everything's just is coming together in the perfect place, and I think that in Serbia that will show. I think I will really just start to show how everything's coming together, and now it's the time to turn professional, go get out there and show what all these wins on the regional circuit and the downfalls of this last year, what it's taught me, and kind of bring it all together in one performance at the Worlds.
Yeah, and you mentioned with the experience, obviously, going away and competing in different countries on a really big stage as well, that they're not common experiences. But obviously, you've spent a lot of time during your amateur career traveling to different countries as well and training. But to get all these experiences, training in different countries, fighting in different countries, under different rule sets and things like that, what's that sort of been like as an amateur as well? And obviously transitioning into pro, how do you feel that that's all going to sort of benefit you?
Yeah, traveling the world with this sport's the best thing possible, because like I've been to some cool places, and like literally even if I go on holiday anywhere now, I'm like, where can I train? Because I want to train all over and meet different people and be taught jiu-jitsu by people who can't speak a word of English. Like stuff like that's a great experience. But especially competing internationally, that's taught me so many lessons ahead of turning professional, because I'm looking to go and turn professional and compete on an international scale. I want to be headlining the UFC in Vegas one day. So getting comfortable with that as early as possible puts me in good stead, obviously. So yeah, it's been a big part to kind of bring me to where I am now.
Yeah, and we take a look at the last World Championships. You had a good performance there. I believe in the third fight, you broke your hand, unfortunately. Looking at that and then sort of seeing the progression that you made there and then comparing it to next year, how do you feel that Teddy Schindler would do with, say, if you were to face yourself now, say the version that you are now, looking at the person that went to the IMAS maybe at the start of this year, how do you feel those two sort of comparing how you feel as a fighter at the moment? Did the question cut out again?
Yeah, that's cut out, that one.
No problem. But basically, in terms of looking at your IMAS performance at the start of this year, obviously you had a good run, but broke your hand, unfortunately. In terms of looking at that version of yourself and then comparing it to now, say you could somehow put that version against yourself maybe or something like that, how do you sort of feel that that version of yourself would do against the version that you are now and the sort of progression that you have made this year? How many strides do you feel that you have made?
He'd get submitted in the first round if I was to fight that guy. You know, it's the developments you make, and what you're not making any developments from January to December. If you're still the same fighter, then something's going wrong. And I feel like I was really proud of how I competed at the Worlds. Up until I broke my hand, the performances were clean. I had a good mental, physical, just emotional alignment of everything. I was feeling myself. I'm looking to kind of replicate that again, but break my hand, have an even better skill set, and go out there. And like the first day, I want to fight Ramazan Gitanov, who's the reigning champ, pound for pound guy. Like he's the guy who I lost to with the broken hand, and it was a close fight despite my injury. But I know if I was to fight him today, and when I do fight him at the Worlds, because I see it's inevitable. If I get him in the first round, brilliant. If I get him in the final, then it's the final. But I think that will be the pinpoint when you see how I got on against him in January versus how I get on against him a year later. I think I'll finish him and be the pound for pound king, inherit that title.
Yeah, and when you do have the sort of a prospect to close out your amateur career like that, obviously, regardless of what even happens at the Amas, there's going to be a lot of people talking about yourself when you do make the pro switch. And I'm sure it won't really take many fights as a pro to start getting noticed by bigger promotions. But obviously, without overlooking the IMAS, where do you sort of see yourself being 3-4 fights into your pro career? Have you got like a rough plan for how you see that going, or are you just going to take those sort of things to come along?
Yeah, there's all I'll say is there's some big opportunities out there already for me on the pro scene that we'll be exploring them after February, but we'll get through the IMAF and then there's some exciting stuff happening as soon as I turn professional. So yeah, big promotions, big things, and yeah, 3, 4, 5. Like by the end of 2023, like I want to be putting myself in title contention at one of the biggest professional organisations. That's what I want to be doing. I want to go push myself for those sort of feats. Because I've done the long amateur career now. I can fast track through the pros and just go out there and show my level.
Yeah, and obviously now you've mentioned in terms of becoming world champion, but obviously looking at this IMAF, you've mentioned the opponent that you would like to face, but what is it like sort of facing these different styles of fighters? Obviously you've got the Russians, Americans, Brazilians, you've got, hold on. Carry on.
It's just booted me out then, hasn't it?
I don't know what's going on, but you take a look in terms of the worlds. Obviously, you've faced a lot of the countries before. You've faced different styles, but in terms of facing these countries like America, Brazil, Italy, all these different countries, what's that like fighting those sort of different styles that you might not get just fighting in terms of on the English regional scene?
Can you go again one more time with that?
Yeah, of course.
It cut
Obviously,
out on that again.
Obviously, you take a look at the different styles that come into the IMAF. You've faced quite a few of them before, but there's the Americans, Brazilians, Italians, French, all those sort of fighters. Getting to fight those styles that you might not get to face on the English regional scene. What's that sort of been like as well to get those sort of opponents in?
You know, it's I think it's good to fight different styles, like you say. Getting different looks, like you get your pure wrestlers, you get your good boxers coming from like Kazakhstan and Russia, them sort of places. But for me, it's weird because a lot of the English team are primarily strikers and stuff, and they're looking to like anti-wrestle. Like the Russians are the worst matchup for them. But for me, like my ground game, my wrestling, my grappling is my shit. So I think if I pull one of these Russians, like that's the best case for me. Because if he tries to take me down, I'll guillotine him. And if he wants to stand up with me, I'll double leg him. So yeah, the styles actually I think suit me quite well. I think it's really good to go out there and face some of these wrestlers, but it's amazing because you don't know who you're going to get. You don't know what style they're going to have, and you just tend to find out on fight day and let it all unfold in there.
Yeah, and then the final thing for myself is just what can people expect to see from yourself going into this IMAFs and your last outing as an amateur fighter?
Gold. That's what we're doing, Joe. We're bringing back gold. Yeah, I'm going to go out there and just do what I need to do to get the wins 5 days in a row, bring back a gold medal, and I hope the rest of the England team replicate it with me. But yeah, lots of gold.
There you go. Well, that is everything from myself. Obviously, gold is in the question. You're going to be hearing the name Teddy Stringer for a long time coming, for the next couple of years. Well, many years, more than a couple, but we'd just like to take the chance, shiny sponsors, anything like that. Obviously, just feel free to go ahead, buddy.
Thank you, man. I just want to shout out to all my existing sponsors. They're all tagged in my Instagram, but Mortgage First, Mortgage Man Wales, Next Generation Estate Planning, Later Living Now, CB Durs. I'm going to be forgetting like a load. So check my Instagram for all my sponsors. Thank you to all my coaches and everyone who's supporting me. And together we'll go to the top. And thank you for your time, Joe.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, buddy. That's everything from myself.
Nice
As already
one,
mentioned, gold medal. It's going to be the new middle name for Teddy Stringer. But thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Thank you, dude.